Constitution Day is celebrated in our country on 26 November every year to commemorate the adoption of the Constitution of India. The day marks a unique historical significance as on this day, November 26, in 1949, India adopted its constitution, which came into force on 26 January 1950. Also known as Samvidhan Divas, the Constitution Day was first celebrated 5 years ago in 2015, when the central government of India decided to pay tribute to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, an iconic lawyer, scholar, and leader who played a crucial role in framing the Constitution of India. The Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment on 19 November 2015 notified the decision of the Government of India to celebrate the 26th day of November every year as Constitution Day to promote constitutional values among citizens. The Constitution of India is the longest written constitution of any sovereign country in the world. The Constituent Assembly met for its first session on December 9, 1946, and the drafting committee of the Constitution was headed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who is also known as the architect of the Indian Constitution. Over the course of next 2 years, the committee took important decisions regarding the objectives, principles, and other aspects of Constitution. It took 2 years, 11 months, and 17 days to draft it. It was finally adopted on 26 November 1949 and came into effect 2 months later on 26 January 1950. Which is celebrated as Republic Day. It was on this day that India marked its journey as an independent and sovereign republic.
The Constituent Assembly was elected to write the Constitution of India. An idea for a Constituent Assembly was proposed in 1934 by M.N. Roy, and it became an official demand of the Congress in 1935. This further led to the creation of the Drafting Committee. The Drafting Committee was entrusted with the responsibility to prepare the draft constitution. It was set up on 29 August 1947 under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. It took 2 years, 11 months and 17 days to frame the constitution, and the final constitution had 22 parts, 395 articles and 8 schedules. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the man who played the most vital role in the framing of our constitution, and this is the 7 members of the drafting committee. The 2-month period between adoption and enforcement was used for a thorough reading of the Constitution, and it was translated from English to Hindi. The Constituent Assembly met for 166 days before the Constitution was adopted. The members of the Constituent Assembly signed 2 handwritten copies of the document, one in English and one in Hindi, in January 24, 1950. 2 days later, the Constitution came into force. Framing our Constitution, the framers of our Constitution read the constitutions of several other countries and put together the best points of each country to give India one of the best constitutions in the world. Some of the countries from which points were borrowed are US, Canada, Australia, USSR and France.
A preamble is an introductory statement in a document that explains the document's philosophy and objectives. In a constitution, the preamble presents its intention to its farmers, the history behind its creation, and the core values and principles of our nation. The preamble plays a very important role in shaping the destiny of our country. It gives a brief idea to the makers of the Constitution. A preamble highlights the fundamental values and guiding principles of our Constitution. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is known as the father of Indian Constitution. The preamble has 63 words, out of which 32 words are important to keep in mind, such as justice, social, economic, political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and opportunity, fraternity, assuring the dignity of an individual, unity and integrity of the nation. The meaning of the keywords are sovereign. This word implies that India is neither a dependent nor a dominant of any other nation but an independent state. Socialist. Constitution had a content of socialist in the form of directive principles of state policy. Secular. The Indian Constitution had a positive concept of secularism, that is, all religions in a country have the same status and support from the state. Democratic. The term democratic in our preamble embraces not only political democracy but also social and economic democracy. Republic. The term republic in our preamble indicates that India has an elected head called the President. Justice. Justice has three distinct forms: social, economic, and political, secured through various forms of fundamental rights and directive principles. Liberty means providing opportunities for the development of individual personalities. Equality. Equality means the absence of special privileges to any section of the society. Fraternity. Fraternity means the sense of brotherhood. The preamble of our Constitution is, "We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure all its citizens justice, social, economic, political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of an individual, unity and integrity of the nation." In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Fundamental rights. The Constitution of India confirms the basic principles that every individual is permitted to enjoy certain basic rights. And Part 3 of the Constitution deals with those rights, which are known as fundamental rights. The 6 fundamental rights are: number 1, right to equality. This right provides for equality before law, end of discrimination, equality of opportunity, abolition of untouchability, and abolition of titles. 2. Right to freedom. This, in a democratic country like India, right to freedom of speech and expression is very important. This right allows its citizens to practice any profession, participate in any political movement, and to move around freely. Number 3. Right against exploitation. This right forbids sale and purchase of human beings, forced labor, and employment of children in hazardous jobs and factories. Number 4. Right to freedom of religion. India does not have a state religion. Every person has the right to practice any religion of his or her choice. Number 5. Cultural and educational rights. In this right, the Constitution guarantees the minorities to maintain and develop their languages and cultures. It also confers upon them the right to establish, maintain, and administer their educational institutions. Number 6. Right to constitutional remedies. Article 32. This fundamental right is the key to the entire Bill of Rights. It provides for the enforcement and protection of the fundamental right. It empowers the Supreme Courts and the High Courts to ensure enforcement of these rights. Fundamental duties of Constitution are: number 1, to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem. Number 2, to apprise and follow the noble ideals which inspired our struggle for freedom. Number 3, to sustain and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. Number 4, to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so. Number 5, to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. Number 6, to have compassion for living creatures. Number 7, to develop scientific temper, humanism and inquiry for every form. Number 8, to perform public property and to abjure violence. The main aim of integrating these duties in the Constitution are to remind the people that while enjoying their right as citizens should also do their work as duties and rights are correlative. Directive principles. Directive principles of state policy. The unique aspect of the Constitution is that it comprises a chapter in the directive principles of state policy. These principles are in the nature of directives to the government to implement them to maintain social and economic democracy in the country. It exemplifies important philosophies such as adequate means to livelihood, equal pay for both men and women, distribution of wealth so as to serve the good, free and compulsory primary education, right to work, public assistance in case of old age, unemployment, sickness and disablement, the organization of village panchayats, special care to the economically disadvantaged people in the country. Most of these principles could help in making India a welfare state. These principles have been stated are fundamental in the governance of India.
26 November was marked as the Constitution Day by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the year 2015 as a part of a year-long celebration of the 125th birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Constitution Day serves to spread awareness on the importance of the Indian Constitution and its architect, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Constitution Day is a matter of pride for all Indians. On this day, 1949, our Constitution was adopted. Although it came into force much later, as citizens of India, we must all be aware of Constitution Day and its significance. It took 2 years, 11 months and 17 days to accomplish the stupendous task of drafting the Constitution. This shows us how much efforts our forefathers have put into giving us a better life. Hence, we must all be proud to be a citizen of such a country and remember this day with much pride and honor.